Hey y'all, welcome back to Fitting and Homemaking. My name is Sarah. Today we are going to be doing a whole house reset. Well, it's a mostly whole house reset. There are a couple of places we don't get to. I don't do my husband's music room, more just because that's a private space that I don't film. And the main bathroom, my nemesis, as you know if you haven't seen any of my videos before. I also don't get to that room. But we do get a lot done. Here you'll see me going through and stripping off all the linen so we can get all of that washed to start off the day. I think this day I didn't have quite as many loads of laundry to do as in some previous videos when I've done a whole house reset, but it's still enough. And I did decide just to go ahead and put new sheets on in the moment so I wouldn't have to worry about remembering to remake the beds later. I've not been that great about remembering to come back to certain things lately, so I figured let's just get it done now. I really wish it went this fast in real time. All of this footage, I think I sped up about 4 times. So this video is going to be right around a half hour long. So this took me a little bit over 2 hours to do all of this. Which honestly, if you're thinking about everything I got done, isn't too terribly long. The virtue of my house not being super large and rambling like some other American homes can be is definitely helpful. One thing I have thought about many times, I'm doing this voiceover a little bit, at least a few days after I did this cleaning, but I kept remembering I did dust and vacuum while I tidied and did laundry and that sort of thing, but I completely forgot to dust the fans, and it is almost spring here, but the seasons have already started to change where I live. I'm in the central North Carolina area, and it is full-blown pine pollen season for us, which means everything's kind of yellowy, but it also means that it doesn't get as cold at nights. So I do want to use the fans a little bit more, and they just desperately need to be dusted, and I forgot to do that. I have gone back since filming this and dusted the fan in my kid's bedroom. But I'm actually doing this voiceover in my bedroom and looking up and realizing I did not go back and do my own, so I'll have to do that sometime. And this is just laundry that had been drying, and I had done some loads and just not gotten around to putting them up. Here I'm scavenging for hangers. If y'all like these sped up cleaning videos where I do a little bit of voiceover over them, sorry, that's really redundant, make sure you like the video and subscribe so I know to do more of this type of video. I tend to like these kinds of videos because I like to put them on while I'm cleaning, so it's nice to hear someone chatting with me in the background. Unfortunately for y'all, if you like voiceover, I am not feeling particularly chatty at the moment, but this is the time that I have to do it, so I'm going to try to soldier through. It's actually quite late at night for me, so I really just want to go to bed, honestly. Oh, another update, if you guys are familiar with my channel. I had a video where I showed you my project cart and it's kind of where I like doom pile stuff to deal with later. But the top of it is almost always full with at least a few books that I need to fix. And the other day, I finally was able to repair all of the books that needed to be repaired. So now the top of my cart just has the book repair stuff and actually no items to do on the top. So maybe soon I will do another video where I attack the next tier down on the cart, because it's one of those 3-tiered rolly carts. And that's where kind of my sewing projects that I need to do, like hemming my husband's pants, like sewing a patch on a bag, and like de-mulching my daughter's socks, which I have still been putting off. So who knows how long ago I did that video. They're still sitting over there. She still does not have any crew socks available to her. But maybe I will find some motivation to do that part of the cart next, because it feels so nice to look over at that cart and see not a single to-do item on that top shelf. And this folding literally felt like it took forever. And I always save the towels for last, but I hate folding this big beach towel because it doesn't follow my normal pattern for folding towels. So I like really have to think about it instead of just going on muscle memory. Anyway, that's just me being a little bit weird. And here we go, zooming around, putting everything back up where it's supposed to go so that we can find stuff. I'm really bad about if something is not put back in the place where it is supposed to live. It is dead to me. Like I simply can't find it. I feel like I did something with that the other day. Oh, it was my earplugs. So I have, this is in no way sponsored or anything, but I have the Loop earplugs, and it's the Engage version. I get overstimulated by sounds really easily, so I pop those in, especially on days when I have gone into the office, and then coming home and just like my kids being at 1,000% energy and me like already being done for the day. I pop those in and it just lowers the decibels enough to take like the hard edge off, and then I can, you know, cope a little bit better with the noise. But I always keep them in the middle zip of my wallet so that I just always have them with me. And I had put them in my pocket one day and then forgotten, because that's not where they're supposed to be, and then put it in the laundry basket or in my laundry hamper. And luckily I remembered enough of, oh, I think I may have put those in a pocket, and was able to scramble through the hamper and find them. But it was not a fun time when I looked in my wallet and saw that they weren't there. And it took me quite a while to remember like what other possible places to search. So this was nice that the dishwasher was already run and ready to be unloaded. We did have some dishes that needed to go in, but they weren't super overflowing at this point. And watching this bag, it reminds me that I actually need to go in and clean out my dishwasher filter. I think you're supposed to do that after every time, but I really get around to it like once every 2 to 3 months. But I remember pulling out the bottom rack the other day and looking in it, and I could see a little bit of white down there, and that's definitely not the color it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be gray. So there's probably some nastiness down there that I need to take care of. Really wish I would have remembered to do it here, because I was like very much in the let's power through and get it done mode. And after I'm done with these dishes, you'll think, am I about to do it? Yes. So I'm spraying down the countertops here, which is, you know, normal SOP for cleaning the kitchen for me. But I also sprayed down the front of the microwave because it has so many fingerprints on it and it's just getting really nasty. But instead of only doing the countertops, I actually cleaned the front of the base cabinets because there was so much food caked on them. I don't know how that much food gets caked on them. I mean, obviously it's us just dropping stuff when we're doing food prep, but it's just, the volume was just astonishing. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm scrubbing all the fronts of the cabinets, and I don't do a very thorough job, but it at least gets the bulk of it off. I probably need to use a little bit of a stronger cleaner. I'm just using like a vinegar water solution here. But that was definitely not something I planned to do, but it caught my eye and I was like, you're doing this anyway, just buckle down and get it done. I also need to do this for all of my walls because anything below, I'd say about 2.5 feet high on the walls in the living room, the nursery, and the dining room, there's just food everywhere on those walls from my kids getting up from the table and walking around and eating when they're not supposed to. I'm not sure at what age that ends, like just the food being plastered to the walls. Oh, and I even hit up the worst spots on the fridge here. Sorry, I was struggling to remember what the fridge was called there. All right, time for the floor. And everything swept up, and you could see Max pop in there super quick. Coming to see what all the commotion is about in this room. All right, and back in the nursery, we are doing a quick dust of stuff. I don't really move too much when I'm doing this because I was trying to get a lot done this day just very quickly. This is me realizing there's also food and various other things stuck to these closet doors. Luckily, there are wet wipes in the nursery, so I just grabbed one of those instead of having to go get my spray again. Next, checking out what's happening outside. And of course, we're vacuuming. Moving things a little bit. I mostly moved that humidifier on the floor so I wouldn't knock it over and spill water everywhere rather than actually wanting to vacuum under it. Yeah, I was definitely lazy there and did not move that table at all. Me deciding it's worth to actually vacuum under the bed because I saw how dirty it was earlier. So one thing I am very proud of myself for doing, I don't do it in this video or on video at all because I do clean, not on camera. And every time I have used this vacuum, it like makes the room not smell very good because the filter really needed to be cleaned. And the same thing is true for the dust buster. I have a dust buster. It's actually sitting on the laundry shelf right there. But every time I use that, it just smells so horrible because the filters need to be cleaned out. So I finally, the other day, when I went to vacuum again and I needed to dust bust something, I was like, I can't stand the smell anymore. I'm going to clean these filters. Also would have been a good time to clean the dishwasher filter since I was thinking about filters, but I did not do that. So, but back to the vacuum filter. That thing was so dark gray. I don't know if you are able to see it in any of these shots. I think I did not include, there was one shot that I did that I didn't include in here because you couldn't, the reality of the situation did not look nearly as impressive on film. So it's like, why are you including that? But I filmed myself emptying the vacuum one time just to show you guys like how much junk came up, but it was very anticlimactic looking on camera, so I cut it out. But in that you could see exactly how dark gray this filter was, and the filter is supposed to be white. So I finally cleaned that and got it dried out in the sun. And then with the dust buster, it had a filter that I always like try to knock out and you know, clean properly, and the inside of the filter looked gray, but I thought that that was its actual color that it was supposed to be because the interior plastic of the dustbuster is gray, even though the outside is white. And what I didn't realize is there's a hard plastic gray kind of cup that was around a cloth filter, and you could actually twist that off. So I was just cleaning like the outside of the plastic bit and like being very frustrated that like all this dog hair was like not coming out unless I picked it out like strand by strand. And then I realized you could twist it out, and then there's just so much stuff came out of that filter, and I tapped it out, and then the filter turned back white again, and I was so disgusted by that. And also pleased with myself that I finally figured out how to work our dustbuster after having it for years and years. Anyhow, long rambling story to say, the next time I use the vacuum cleaner with the clean filter and the next time I use the dustbuster with a clean filter, obviously it did not smell, and now I'm so much happier when I have to vacuum or dustbust. So it's the little things that really do make a difference. And if you were just watching a minute ago, I totally missed that shot. I was trying to get the little basketball out of the way. Totally banged it off the rim. Max is just trying to find a quiet spot away from the vacuum because I keep going where he thinks he's going to be safe. And I'm definitely too lazy to move the couch on this day, so that's fine. I like the couches with a little bit of clearance under them because you can actually see when stuff goes under there, so it's easy just to like take it out right away. And I apologize if the background audio on this is not very good. I'll try to make sure it's not too loud to be irritating, but like with the vacuum going and then the laundry going in the background, it's kind of a lot. So I'll make sure that that's turned down quite a bit for y'all. But while I was doing this clean, I was listening to an audiobook, except for when I'm vacuuming, because then I just can't hear anything whatsoever. I would have to turn my earbuds up all the way, and I'm just not willing to blast out my hearing to continue to listen to my ebook during the short time that I'm vacuuming. All right, back into the bedroom. So that's the cart that I was talking about. The top of that is now empty, even though it is not empty in this video. And when I was just dusting that part of the bed, I could see down and back behind the bed, and there was so much dust back there. So I actually do vacuum back there with like the vacuum hose, which I don't normally do. I actually almost never vacuum this room because it's easier to sweep with kind of the layout of the floor space, because I can get the broom like behind the bedside tables without moving them, and there's just a lot of furniture to work around in this room compared to the floor space. But this day I figured, well, I've got the vacuum out and that part's really dusty, so I should just go ahead and vacuum in here. That bookshelf that you can see against that wall there, that is next on my list, I think, to film to declutter for a decluttering video. I have a couple other things probably coming before that that I've already filmed, but that bookcase so desperately needs to be done. This is me very awkwardly trying to vacuum behind here through the little slats. All right, and I realized when I cleaned the kitchen that I did not clean off this table. So let's go ahead and dust these light fixtures since they're above where we eat. And quickly dust this. I really need to do a spring clean of all my windows. They're so bad, and since we've been running the humidifier for the kids, the one in the nursery is especially bad because the floor vent is right under the window, so I put the humidifier kind of by that floor vent so it kind of distributes, in my mind, it distributes the humidity from the humidifier a little bit better since the air is blowing from the vent there. But since it's also right next to the window gets a lot of moisture on it, and so there's, you know, a little bit of mold there that I try to keep up with wiping off, but I really need to like spray it down with some good cleaner instead of just taking a wet wipe to it and wiping it off. And it's also just dirt. When we have nice days, we open up the windows to air out the house, and dirt just gets blown in there. All of the window tracks are so dirty. I did think about doing the sunroom, like a deep clean of my sunroom as a video, and then I just got so overwhelmed by that idea because it would take so much time because of how dirty those windows are. Maybe that will be a present one time that I can ask for, like someone to come out and clean all of the windows, like inside and out, because those on the outside you would need a ladder to get to them. And here we are hitting my kids' bathroom, which is also our guest bathroom. And I'm just doing a quick wipe down here. The sink wasn't actually too bad. I had more issues with like soap that had leaked and that sort of thing. And I don't think I actually really tidied that much in here either. This was one of those things where I really wanted to be done, and I didn't want to do this, but I knew like there was a ring around the inside of the toilet, and I shouldn't let that go any longer because then it gets difficult to clean, and you know, I want my kids to have a clean toilet to use. So this was me just kind of forcing myself to get on with it. But we are getting it within maybe about 5 minutes of the end of the video here. This is the last main room I hit. I think after this we are just switching over some laundry again. And y'all, I still have not switched out this leaky like bleach cleaner bottle. It's driving me nuts. You'll see how very awkwardly I'm like trying to carry it out to the little bin of cleaning supplies that I have on the floor. It's out of frame, but this is me like letting it drip. I'm like trying to rinse off the outside of it so I don't just drip bleach all over myself and all over the floor. And I'm also very awkwardly trying to slide things past the camera tripod because this room is so small and I have you guys in the doorway, which is very thin. And I kind of staged myself or all of my cleaning supplies and various things right outside of the room. So sorry for closing the door on you there, but I needed to get behind it. All right, here we go, switching over some laundry. I don't think I actually had any laundry snafus this day, which was fantastic. It was just a lot of laundry. And the clothes that I'm just chucking on top of the dryer there, those are clothes that don't go in the dryer. They have to air dry. So I can't remember if I hang any of them up or if I put them on the rack. No, I hang some of them up. Sometimes if I have like the, what are those called? Like the athletic wear material. The name is completely escaping me. But those kinds of shirts, they tend not to stretch out if you hang them up wet. So sometimes I'll just go ahead and put those on the hanger. I just hung up a nightgown of my daughter's that she absolutely loves. And then one of her dresses there to dry. So sometimes that's just more convenient than putting it on a drying rack if I know the clothes aren't going to get stretched out or anything. Alright, so that load that I just took out of the dryer actually had the sheets for this bed. And unlike my kids' sheets, which are not that horribly hard to fold, I hate folding king-size sheets. So I usually just go ahead and wash the sheets and then put them right back on the bed. I do switch them out with our second pair of sheets every so often, just so one pair doesn't get super worn out compared to the other. But I generally do that if I know I'm not going to be able to get to washing them right away. And as usual, we can all see how psycho I am about making the bed a very specific way and making sure everything's tucked in properly with that bottom sheet. And then I am one of those people who uses the top sheet too. Checking the evenness with the bed frame. Y'all, it's truly eye-opening when you start videoing yourself and you see all of your little idiosyncrasies on film and you post them for all the world to see. But to be very honest with you, I knew how absolutely psycho I was with needing the bed to be made a specific way. To the point where when my husband moved in, said one thing you don't ever have to worry about is making the bed, because if you make it, I will just remake it. So I don't want you to be offended by that. You're not doing it wrong. It's just not the exact way that I want. And I have to confirm that it's the exact way that I want. So I have to check it anyway. And it's just one of those things that I'm super particular about. So, expend energy elsewhere, please and thank you. And sorry, I'm so weird. All right, that's it. I will see you next time. Thanks, y'all. Bye.